Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Daderson Luchauskas. Today's the 14th of May 2018. Welcome to this first trading day of the week. So we'll have a look at the charts, we'll have a look at what happened last week, what to expect from them this week. But before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. Excuse me, the content of this webinar does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. I'll just give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Sorry for my voice, guys, a little bit. My voice is going down today a little bit, but nevertheless, I don't think it's going to interrupt this video. Also, before we look at the charts, quick reminder of our JFD Brokers website here. And if you click here on JFD Research, it will take you to our little page here that we update on a daily basis. We throw out different analysis in different languages as well, and different trading shoutouts. So yeah, guys, please do not hesitate to visit us, and I think you can find something useful here. But let's have a look at the charts now. The first one I want to look at, guys, is the S&P 500. Now we can see we had a nice positive close on Friday, so the week ended up like really looking positive, and eventually we broke out of this triangle formation. We broke through this upper side of the triangle formation, and for now, of course, the question is this going to be a bull? Are we gonna continue pushing higher, or actually this is going to be something like a false breakout? To be honest, at the moment, I mean, of course, we're going to lean more towards the positive side, and we are going to be aiming towards this area right here, the 27.55, approximately there. Now a nice break above this area could open the path towards these higher levels, maybe towards this 27.90 or even eventually the 2800 mark. So for now, we are keeping an eye on this upside and on this 27.55 level. Now, certainly if we suddenly get a reversal back down and we start breaking this 27.20 area, and then we'll test the upper side of the triangle from above, it could also act as a good bouncing ground for this index to then reverse and move higher. But if we'll suddenly see a break back inside this triangle, then well, stay cautious, guys. I mean, this could not look good for the index. I mean, we could eventually see this S&P 500 moving a little bit lower again, maybe even towards this 26.45 area, approximately there, and then eventually lower. But for now, we'll keep the downsides on the as a plan B for now. So like I said, we are keeping an eye on this higher level. Let's have a look at the FTSE. Now FTSE's on fire, and we are seeing this nice move here up. We're breaking all these levels that I've had highlighted here, and we broke the 76.90 area. We broke this 7700 again, and now we are aiming towards this area right here, the 77.90 area, approximately there, 77.90, or even actually the 7800. So could be a good level of resistance initially, but for now, like I said, let's wait and see what it brings for us. And for now, we're aiming for this level with the 77.95, 7800. On the downside, certainly, if we get a nice break here below the 76.90, and we could see maybe a move here towards this upwards moving trend line that we've got running since around the end of March, and we could see a test of it. And certainly, if we do get closer to it, so keep an eye on this. I mean, maybe we could see a bit of a correction here if we start breaking this trend line to the downside. So if we do get something like this, if we get a nice close below this trend line, then watch out for this level here, the 75.85 mark, and a break below that could open the path towards this 75.10, 7500 mark. So watch out for this one, guys. Looking at the DAX, so the DAX is looking positive as well. Certainly we can see that Friday we closed, well, slightly in the red zone here, but still nevertheless above this psychological 13,000 level. So now of course this is looking like a bullish sign, and we are aiming for this area right here, the 13,160 mark. Then a break above that could push it a little bit higher, maybe towards this area right here at around 13,300, which would also coincide actually with this upper bound of this rising channel on this index. So on the downside, of course, we would need to see a nice break here below the psychological 13,000, and especially we'd need to see a close below that level in order to consider further lower levels. Here we've got the 12,850 mark that acted as a good level of resistance and support in the past, and we could eventually, if we get a break below that, we could see a test of this bottom side of the channel, the rising channel. So for now, we are looking more for the upside, of course. I mean, just because, like I said, it is looking strong, and we do have this nice level here, the 13,160. So keep an eye on that one, guys. Let's quickly have a look at DXY, and then I'll actually cover a commodity. I'll go into gold, but for now, like I said, looking at DXY, we're seeing this weakness coming into the dollar. Certainly, I mean, we could class that as maybe a slight correction. We are currently balancing around this area right here at 92.40 mark, approximately there. Now a good break here below that level could send this index towards this level right here at the round number of well, not round, but actually the even number of 92. So which could also actually be around this 200 EMA level. So these two could actually act as a good potential bouncing ground for this index. But for now, of course, we are being careful because we are at this level here at the 92.40. If we see a nice good break here below, we'll be aiming towards this 92 mark, and then of course we'll have to evaluate it there again, because like I said, if we'll start breaking a little bit lower, and if we'll see a close below this level here and below this 200 EMA, then, well, I mean, could see some further declines, to be honest. But for now, we are still kind of positive-ish, and we could maybe see a bounce somewhere here and a move higher, a break above this 92.70 mark, approximately there, could open the path towards this 93.40 mark as well. So watch out for this one, guys. Could be something interesting. Let's have a look at gold. Now gold is balancing around this bottom side of this triangle formation, this bigger picture here, on the bigger picture here, and currently we are trying to push away from this this key area at 1320, which acted as a good level of support and resistance, and now, like I said, it's currently trying to act as a good level of support. So of course, we are aiming towards the higher levels now for here. First, maybe we'll see a move towards these EMAs right here, the 50 and the 100, and then eventually, if we're going to continue pushing higher, we are aiming for this 1336 mark, which acted as a good level of resistance and support in the past as well. So a break above that could send it a little bit higher, but we will let's not get ahead of ourselves. So for now, we are just aiming for this 1336. On the downside, certainly we would need to see a nice close below the 1320 and below, of course, the this bottom side of the triangle formation again, in order to kind of consider further declines. And it would get this commodity, I do apologize, would get this commodity back into this little range here between the 1307 and the 1320. Certainly, if we would get a nice close below the 1307, we could see this this precious metal dropping a little bit lower, even maybe testing the psychological 1300. But like I said, let's not get ahead of ourselves. For now, it's looking positive, and yeah, we are looking for this 1336 mark. Let's have a look at the euro dollar now. Euro dollar dollar, we can see that it recovered in the end of last week. So started its recovery on Thursday. On Friday we pushed higher, we broke above this, we closed above this 1.19150. We closed around this 119,400 level, and now we can see that it's continuing to push higher. It's aiming right now towards this 120, the psychological 120 level, just slightly above that level. We do have this 200 EMA as well. So this area basically could act as a good level of resistance initially, but if this pair is going to pierce through this level strongly to the higher, then well, watch out for the 12900 area first. I'm specifying this area actually because the 120,900 was the high of 2017. So keep an eye on this level, guys. So could be an interesting one to watch if we start breaking the 120 and this 200 EMA. On the downside, we would need to get back below the 1.19 150 in order to kind of consider maybe this one going back towards these last week's lows at around 1.18 200 approximately there. So, and if we see a nice break here below, we could eventually push a little bit lower, but for now this pair is looking positive, and we are positive on these levels as well, the 120 especially. Let's quickly have a look at the EURGBP now. So EURGBP is kind of continuing to push higher. Let's actually get rid of some of these arrows, and we are aiming now towards this area right here, this previous recent high at around 0.8845 mark. Now a break above this could send it towards this 200 EMA, or even eventually towards this upper bound of this rising channel formation. So something to watch out for, guys. I mean, could be interesting. On the downside, certainly we would need to see a nice break here, pull back towards the 88 mark, and then eventually a break below the 0.87950, and then we could see maybe a move back down towards this bottom side of the rising channel formation for a quick test. Let's have a look at a few dollar pairs now. So USDCAD now is well, it managed to retrace a little bit on Friday, managed to push higher, but still couldn't overcome this 128 mark. Now we can see that it's reversing back down, and again we are aiming for this level right here, the 127,600. A break below that could eventually send this pair a little bit lower. We could start moving towards this 126,900, or even actually slightly higher, this other level of 127. So for now, keep an eye on this, guys. I mean, we are at this interesting point. It's quite difficult to make a call here, but judging by the maybe the weakness in the DXY, we could eventually see this breaking lower. And let's look at one more last pair, and so the Aussie dollar. So the Aussie dollar is looking quite good, to be honest, and we've managed to get back into this channel, this falling channel here, this long-term falling channel that started around February, and now we are currently at around this level right here at 0.75 excuse me, 0.75550. So a break above that level could send it a little bit higher. Maybe a test of this 0.76250 area could be possible, and of course then maybe we could get back slightly higher here and test this longer term upwards moving trend line that we had running since, let's just quickly remind you guys, since January 2016. So could be a nice area to test as well. We could test that from underneath, but for now, of course, let's overcome this barrier first, 0.75550, and if we do get something like that, if we do get a nice break above this, could eventually, like I said, get a move higher. If we suddenly reverse back down, we move outside of this channel again, we break it to the downside, well, probably this is not going to look good for this pair, and we could eventually start hitting these previous previous lows again. So something like this here. So we could get a break below the 0.75 mark, and then we could open the path towards this 0.74 150. So watch out for this one, guys. Okay, I'll have to wrap it up here, and I hope you have a good European session, guys. If you want to join me later on in my Traders Tea Time, so please do not hesitate to do that. And yeah, that's a 13:15 GMT time and 14:15 British Summer Time. So thank you very much, and bye-bye.